So welcome everyone to our weekly webinar presentation focused on the Make Ready board. Now, this is all about trying to get a hold of all of that work that gets done every time a tenant moves out and you're trying to prep a rental unit for its next occupant. And as you know, every move out creates a swarm of office activity. See, I use bees there. Very clever because it's a swarm. Cool. We're all on the same page. All right. When you look at the make ready process, a lot of times it begins with an inspection. And while everyone's make ready process is different, usually there's some kind of assessment of, what shape is the rental unit in at the time the tenant has moved out. But from there, the process really varies. So as an example, you might complete the inspection and then, you have to rekey that unit because you don't want the old tenant to come back in to the house or the apartment or whatever it is that you're making ready. Things are probably broken, so you'll have to have a tech come out and fix the microwave, fix the HVAC or air conditioning. And then, if they hung stuff on the walls, there's probably some wall damage or they hung things. And so you gotta fix the drywall. Then you gotta paint over all of that stuff. Those might not even be the same vendors doing some of that work. Then there's like sawdust everywhere and you got to clean that, and the carpet's messy, and some things are going to have to be like super power washed because they're really gross, so you'll have to get like a specialist to come out for that. You got to relist the unit at some point, right? And that might be part of your make ready process. No one's ever going to rent it if you don't tell people about it. And then all of that has to be communicated back to the main office, and all of the people doing those jobs have to be told by the main office when to go do them and in what order. So it's a lot. What if there's a better way? And there is. There is now in Rent Manager with the Make Ready board. What this is designed to do is give you an easy and efficient way to manage the Make Ready process. It provides visualization as well as enforcement tools to make sure that every rental unit going through a Make Ready process inside of your managed portfolio is managed efficiently. Now, the Make Ready board is really providing sort of a structured organization for your service issues and your inspections. So we're utilizing Service Manager as well as the inspection feature set inside of the software. So one thing that I would want to point out is if you're not licensing the RM inspection feature, so that is RM inspection is something you can utilize to go out into the field to complete an inspection and then have the results of that inspection automatically loaded back into your Rent Manager database. So that is a very powerful tool on its own, and now that feature has been incorporated inside of our Make Ready board. So what we're going to do today is examine the purpose of the Make Ready board and how to interpret what the board is telling us. We're going to establish Make Ready actions and templates so that we can actually build the Make Ready board the way that we need it for our business, and to make sure that every Make Ready process covers the right service issues and inspections that need to be performed. And then finally, I'll show you how to actually deploy the Make Ready process for your rental units, because there's a lot of different ways to do that. All right, so we are going to jump over now into Rent Manager. So hopefully you can see my screen. I've got my dashboard up here on the front. And we're going to actually take a few minutes and look at the Make Ready board on its own. So to do that, I am going to select the Services menu option here at the top, and I'm going to select Make Ready board. Now, there are user permissions associated with like creating components of the Make Ready board, or even the ability to view the Make Ready board at all. So if you don't see this option under Services, it could be that your user account needs to be given permission to the Make Ready board. So I'm going to select it here, and you can see my Make Ready board is showing me that I have 2 rental units going through a Make Ready process. One at Corporate Business Park, which is one of my commercial properties, and then Buckeye Hall, which is student housing. I can see general information about which unit it is, the last time, when the tenant moved out, if there was another tenant planning to move in, when are they moving in, and how old, what is the age of this make-ready process? How long have we been doing this? Notice up here at the top, I have unit review, maintenance, wall renovation, cleaning, and final ready. These are the make-ready actions. And so those are the major stages of my make-ready process. And so within each column, I'm going to see all of the service issues or the inspections that are associated with that stage or that action. So if you'll notice right here, I'm going to click on this admin 7/6/2018, and that's actually going to pull up an inspection that I had presumably completed. Now it's pretty blank there. We're going to just assume the inspection went pretty well, but you can see that the status of the issue is closed. So that brings us to some of the color coding that we need to examine, because the purpose of the Make Ready board is to make sure that anyone who looks at the board understands exactly where we are in the process of the Make Ready, and then who's responsible for doing what. So anytime you see an item that's clear or sort of in that white, that means nothing has been done. This is the username. So N. Federick has been assigned a service issue. We could see that if we go in, we could see it's actually opened on 7/6. But no work has been done on that. Now, if it's green, that means the work has been completed. If it's yellow, that means that the work is in progress, and orange means that the issue has been scheduled. Okay, so let's look at, so for example here, this N. Federick, so that's like, N. Federick is like, Nikolai is my main service tech, so he is kind of all over these make-ready processes. But I'm going to click on this. This was a service issue to address carpet that needed to be replaced. It is green because it was closed. So great job, Nikolai. Now, if you'll notice here, this is yellow. The reason it's yellow is because this service issue has a status that identifies it as a work in progress. And I literally have a status called work in progress. And so this is Febreze the entire dorm. This is a very important step to me in my student housing make-ready process. I have someone go through with like 3 bottles of Febreze because it is necessary. I'm not going to go into any more details. It is necessary. You'll notice that this service issue was due on 7/7/2018. It is past due. And that is why you see that little red exclamation mark. So the Make Ready process can actually let you know when you have an issue where the due date has been missed. Orange, so J. Santos, 7/18/2018, that is telling you that this service issue has been scheduled. Okay, so you can see that it has a future scheduled date, and that's what flags it as orange. So the name and the date, or at least the purpose of the date, depends on what you're looking at. So this is always the user who has been assigned to the inspection or the service issue. So I can see admin, a lot of N. Federick stuff, some J. Santos. If the issue is green, the date is telling you the date that the issue was closed. If you see orange, it is telling you the date that the issue has been scheduled. And then, a work in progress, you could see a due date in there. But again, when you're past due, you just get a warning message saying, man, we already missed the deadline. So we got to figure some of that stuff out. So that's what the Make Ready board is trying to share. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that the Make Ready board by default is looking at all of your property, so every unit that's going through Make Ready, but you could also filter this down. So if you only wanted to see the Make Ready board for your apartment complex or for your commercial units, you could narrow the scope very easily. Now, when it comes to managing these issues in here, because you'll notice every time I clicked on something, it was a live link, right? I could click on it and jump to that service issue or that inspection, if you right-click inside of a cell, you'll see the ability to quickly add an issue. You could link an existing issue. So maybe you have a service issue that you had already created, but it was not initially part of a make ready process and you wanted it to be. You could do that. You can add an inspection. You could link a previous inspection, or you could even choose to move. Like if I wanted to take this service issue right here, I could move it to a different action in the Make Ready board, or I could remove it from the Make Ready board altogether. Now, removing it does not delete the service issue. It just means that service issue is no longer part of the Make Ready process. I do not want you to do that. Let's not restart. Okay. So that is a manual way for you to add issues or inspections, but to be honest, that's not going to be a great use of time because when you put a unit into the Make Ready process, you're going to want to generate all of this stuff at once. And we're going to learn how to do that soon. But we got to get to that point. So that is the Make Ready board in a nutshell, what it's trying to share with you, how you can filter it, and how you can quickly track at a glance where each rental unit is in the process.